All right, hi everybody. If you're joining us, I'm going to take a minute here and get everybody admitted, hopefully. That's in the waiting room. We'll get started in 1 second. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. Again, a couple folks might join us, but I'll keep an eye on that and add them in. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining the webinar. Sorry we had a little bit of a Zoom link issue there, but I think hopefully everyone's able to find it that wants to. I just have a few reminders for you before we get started. First off, you should be muted already, but if you find yourself unmuted for some reason, please keep yourself muted during the presentation. We'll have a question and answer period at the end. I also wanted to remind everyone that this webinar is being recorded for later viewing for folks that aren't able to join us right now. So if you do not want your face to be on the recording, please feel free to turn off or on your video camera. It's up to you. Another couple things, if you haven't used Zoom before, or if you have, there is a chat function. So throughout the presentation, or if you have a question or are worried you're gonna forget it, please feel free to type questions, comments, anything like that in the chat box. And we'll address those questions at the end. And then, yeah, there is also let me see, in the same bar that you should be seeing, you can put a request in to become unmuted as well. So without any further ado, I think we can go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to start with just a general background. I'm assuming most folks who are on this webinar probably already know about our project, but just in case you got the invite and are excited to learn more, Appalachian Abattoir is a project of Buzz Food Service and will be located next to our current facility in Rand, West Virginia. A few things that we're really excited about that I'll just touch on quickly. We are going to be offering, humane livestock handling facilities. We're going to have a state-of-the-art kill floor and processing areas. We're going to be offering ready-to-eat and an on-site smokehouse, so we'll be able to do USDA inspected bacons and hams and products like that. The project is currently under construction. Our estimated completion date, and we'll talk more about this later, is still currently September 2021. We are going to be looking to hire folks for the new facility. We'll probably start with 8 to 12 or more jobs in the fall of 2021, up to 30 positions once we're fully up and running and staffed. Oops, there we go. I want to do a couple introductions just real quick of staff that's on the call, and then we'll introduce you to our new production manager, which is one of the most exciting updates that we have, I think, during this call. But first I want to say we've got, I think, Sierra Jones on. She's the office manager at Buzz Food Service and does all of our food safety and HACCP work. We have Dan Schumacher, who's our business development person at Buzz and Appalachian Abattoir, and then Dickinson Gould, president of Buzz Food Service. And I will let you introduce Nathan, if you don't mind. Oh, and I'm Annie Stroud, the project manager.
Thank you, Annie, and thank you everybody for tuning in. I don't want to forget Jason Jean, our vice president.
Oh, yeah.
And many of you know if you do active business with Buzz already. But Annie said it best. The most exciting milestones that we have in this or any other project are the days and the times when we get to add a new key staff member. And so today it's my exciting job to introduce our newly minted production manager, Nathan DeBlois, who's on the call. Nathan joins us from a career in the industry in actually in the state of Vermont. When we posted this executive leadership position, we were not surprised to get a number of national applications and really strong candidates. But Nathan's candidacy rose to the top, not just because he's worked in a number of similarly sized facilities with very similar scope of work. Most recently, he was present and active in a leadership role for the opening of a brand new facility, which currently and still operates as Vermont Packing House, if you're interested in any of that facility's background. But you know, Nathan and his children and family are poised to move here from Vermont, which is wonderfully exciting for all of us as we work to repopulate the state. He's been a pleasure to work with. Nathan has the dubious honor of he's the first person that I think I've ever hired without ever seeing his face. And that's not because we didn't meet in person. We were all masked right up until he arrived recently. And seeing his face gave us no real regrets, I don't think. So Nathan's been a pleasure to work with. So far, he has already added a couple of members to his rapidly growing team. And if you have an interest in job opportunities in the facility, Nathan is the person that you would likely be speaking to very soon. So make your interest known and we'll make a connection. Nathan, I do want to make sure people at least hear your voice. I think you might need to unmute yourself, but if you want to tell us about your background, help yourself. And if not, tell us, you know, in your short time here, what's your favorite thing about West Virginia so far?
Okay, well, my name is Nathan DeBlois, and I am from Vermont, originally from California, and I've worked in 2 meat processing plants in the state of Vermont. And actually, the first one was Westminster Meats and helped take them up production-wise about 400% by just working on working more efficiently and working cleaner and more humanely and getting the process more streamlined. And look forward to actually starting at that point here. I joined this team because I really enjoyed the people who I met in my travels down here in my interview and getting to know the staff here, and really feel like I'll be able to contribute to their vision and make it a reality. And I look forward to meeting all of you guys as producers and farmers, and it's going to be a symbiotic relationship, and look forward to working and getting to know all of you as well. So thank you for welcoming me aboard.
Thanks a lot, Nathan. Now, I think back to you, Annie, for some timeline updates, please.
Yeah, sure. So I'll give you just a few construction updates and show you a time lapse of the building from about like the last month and a half, and a couple photos, which are fun. That's been consuming a lot of time aside from all the back end planning, is getting the building built at this point in a very unusual working year. A few things to highlight that are very exciting. We have a lot more walls and masonry going on. A lot of the work, of course, in construction happens under the ground, so you don't see progress quite as visibly, but we have both exterior and interior walls going up, concrete pads being poured, partial roofing in some of the building, trusses getting ready to go up in the next couple of weeks. So we're very excited about that. We did lose a little bit of time over winter, but that was to be expected as far as bad weather and some, shipping delays and issues like that. But, they're making really good progress. We've got good weather now, and we're seeing some really exciting things happening. A couple highlights: we do have some of the kill floor equipment will be arriving soon, which is also exciting. They'll go ahead and set the equipment. It won't be operational, of course, until the full building's done. But we have some of those materials getting ready to be installed and embedded in the concrete. And again, I already mentioned roofing. which is an exciting step for some of the kill floor and process areas. So I'm going to go ahead and play this and hopefully it works. But this is just a quick time lapse of, again, the last month and a half of progress. It's a little bit small, so hopefully you have a big enough screen that you can see it. But yeah, I believe this one started in April. And when it started, we just kind of had the outside shell of the building. I think they're pouring concrete floors now. Some masonry starting up, some of the early front rooms being blocked in. The structure for the trusses over the handling pens on the left are up. Interior walls going up, and some more concrete. So again, real quick time lapse. I'll probably put one of these up on Facebook so folks can view and slow down and pause at their own time. But here's a couple other, a little bit more close-up images of where we are in construction. These are from our meeting last Wednesday. We have the photo on your far left is of you looking down what will be the kill floor. So from the entry point where the animals enter the building, this is the first step of the kill floor. Again, you can see our roof that we're all very excited to get to see. Next one is an employee hallway. I think these are actually going to be the restrooms and a door into what will be a kitchen break room area. And this final one will be kind of a main entrance hallway. I think we've mentioned this before, but we will have obviously a front office space, but we do have kind of a classroom space built into the facility where we hope to host producers and partners and friends who want to learn more about processing. We'd love to host producer events and other educational opportunities at the facility as well. That'll be off of this hallway that actually looks like a hallway now. And then here's kind of a view from the front corner of the current walls. The building will actually come out to about the end of this photograph here, but the outside framing isn't up. So this is, again, that interior hallway, our cooler freezer space, and then this open area here will be split into, part of it will be the hanging coolers for the carcasses after being slaughtered, and the other part will be our processing room areas. As far as, again, timeline, like I said, we are still on schedule to be done in September. And again, we'll touch on this later when we talk about scheduling. But because it is an active construction site and it is not a normal year for construction for a variety of reasons, I just want to prep everyone that we are being conservative in terms of when we're going to open up our scheduling, just to account for possible delays. Again, I think everything that might cause a delay has already been ordered and it's on its way, but it's 2021 now, and who knows what's going to happen. But everything seems to be on track. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass this back to Dickinson. Again, if you've joined us for some of our previous presentations, we have gone over some of what our service offerings are going to be, but we'll do a quick kind of overview of what we're going to be offering, and then get into our pricing sheet, and then I'll talk a little bit more about scheduling at the end. So Dickinson, do you want to go ahead?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Annie. And Annie is right that we're excited to finally provide some specifics around what we describe as the service model in the business. Of course, we will be building a wholesale supply model where we're sourcing livestock from local producers and pushing the product into our existing wholesale supply chain. Today's call is not meant to share pricing or our approach to purchasing. Today's really going to be focused on the service model offering. We understand what a backlog there is for scheduling service work, and we're anxious to share our approach, our offerings, pricing, and some news about actually scheduling an appointment. So the top line information on our service offering, again, we've said from the beginning, we're excited to join the field of existing providers in this area, because we know there's just a need for more capacity, plain and simple. But we also are excited because we think we can bring some unique offerings to the table for local producers who are selling freezer beef or marketing individual cuts, and growing a brand around their own activities. So a couple of unique characteristics of this plan is that all the product that comes through our facility will be USDA inspected. So it will be eligible for you to sell across state lines. You can even take orders over the internet and ship product directly to consumers out of state. That's a big win and a big step forward. We think our existing professional service team and a staff of pretty significant scale in the new facility are going to allow us to just be more accessible, right? When it comes to customer service, scheduling an appointment, making changes, following up on the transactional side of the business. We think we can give good service because that's what has mattered to us for a very long time. Quality craftsmanship. We're excited about it because this is our core business. This is what we've done for decades in the food service industry. Is we cut portion control steaks for the most demanding chefs in every service area, every market that we do business in, and it's a huge part of our reputation is understanding expectation and making the product as presentable as possible. Of course, quality packaging. On day one, I think we're going to have some packaging and labeling options and equipment that are as good as anything that exists in the industry, and that's gonna play out in a number of ways. A continuous feed roll stock packaging machine is just plain and simple going to make steaks better, look better, and present better than shoving everything into a bag. So we're excited to share more detail about that. Moving down the list, USDA grading services. So everything that comes through the facility is not just going to bear the mark of USDA inspection, but we will have USDA grading services on site where carcasses are being graded objectively for their quality and will bear the quality grades that they deserve. USDA Select, Choice, Prime, and the work and investments that have been made in genetics and responsible herd management will shine through when we get an official grade on the product. And I know a lot of local producers will understand that they can and should charge more for a product that grades as high, choice, or prime. We'll talk more about that later. This also puts us in a position to provide a healthy data set back to every one of our service customers. So I think we are eager to build a database of information that we can all learn from and help producers understand how their quality compares to previous service work that we've performed to them. I think we can build that data and that customer profile over time. We can allow producers to compare themselves to other producers that are coming through the facility in an aggregate manner. And generally speaking, we want to provide data that allows producers to improve their results. So I think that's an exciting aspect of what we're doing. Tiered pricing and cut sheets are fairly standard to what you've seen at other small facilities in the industry, and we'll get into that over the next few slides, I believe. So a couple of key definitions that I think are important to remind folks of. Federal or USDA means what I just described. We're going to have federal inspectors on site, and all of the product will be federally inspected and bear the mark of inspection, therefore eligible to be sold across state lines. That's as that compares to other options in the industry. State inspection programs, of course, are highly effective at ensuring the safety and quality of consumable product, but there's just limitations in how the product can be sold. And then, of course, the category of custom and custom exempt is a common practice in the industry, especially in local processing. And this is where livestock are slaughtered and processed for the owners, may be sold as freezer beef, but really just not available for commercial sale. And because of the way we've established our facility, we just won't be doing this type of work. And so just to have the language easy to understand, that's why we're really not using the word custom. We're using we're describing this aspect of our business as service work, and that's doing, basically toll processing service for local processors. Of course, we've touched on the wholesale market opportunity, which we'll get to in a future call and over the coming weeks and months. And then an important component to understand is live weight versus hot carcass weight. Services, we will be capturing both live and hot carcass weight in the facility. We will be providing both of those numbers to every service work customer, but billing will always be based on hot carcass, also described as hanging weight. And so that's, the animal has been converted into a carcass. It's been, hooves and hide, head removed, eviscerated, light trim and cleaning. It's basically prepared to be converted into boneless consumable meat product. So Annie has provided some sample yields there, but I also want to say that our expectation is that our customer service team will be prepared to really spend time with service customers to understand what they brought in, what it yielded, how it compares to other producers, and exactly what they're getting back and in what quantities. If you have anything to add to that, Annie, you're welcome to do so. If not, let's keep going. So here it is, without further ado, this is our 2021 processing fee schedule. As your eyes glance over it, I will emphasize that our priority has been to put a premium on simplicity. We want it to be fair and relevant, but we wanted to match the quality of the craftsmanship and packaging that we're going to provide. We have all seen a lot of different pricing sheets from small facilities of this nature, and I think there's a good reason for every one of those highly specific charges that come along over time. And we have really just made it a priority and made a commitment to ourselves and to our customers. We don't want to be accused of nickel and diming customers, right? So maybe the kill fee looks reasonable or below market, but there's 8 fees that you weren't expecting to find on your bill. And our approach is really meant to be fair, in line with the overall regional market for this kind of work, and really produce the best available product and win loyalty with the quality of the craftsmanship and service. So Annie, I don't know if you want me to touch line by line on this screen view or if you have that broken out. All right. She's one step ahead of me as usual, folks. So we'll start by talking about beef. Of course, beef kill fee is a flat $75 a head. Our BSE kill fee, if the animal is identified as being 30 months or older, will be $115. Those are exclusive to each other. Those would not be on top of each other. The cut and package fee based on hanging weight is 75 cents a pound. And what I'm excited to tell you is this laundry list of items that is included in that price. So first and foremost, all of our standard packaging options with weights and labels, every individual cut labeled and identified with a weight, USDA inspection and grading data, quality boxes for ease of transport. If you don't want them, you don't have to take them, but we're not going to hand you your order in a garbage bag or anything like it. We will have a selection of standard and recognizable cut sheets, allowing producers to choose between things like, do I want ribeye steaks or do I want a prime rib? Do I want T-bones and porterhouses or do I want boneless strips and tenderloins. I think, anyone who's engaged in this work understands the choices that have to be made. We're not releasing those cut sheets today. Of course, we're not scheduling appointments for a few months. So you'll hear that from Annie later, but you can expect to have any option and maybe some additional options that you've seen in other small facilities. Standard packaging will include exact weight, portion controlled chubs for all grinds, and that you can specify 1 or 2 pound packages, but that'll be space saving, durable handling, and ready to hold a really nice label if you choose. We are happy to be in a position to offer fresh patties, fresh frozen patties. And we're very grateful to be in a position where we're not going to apply a service charge, at least at the start. Our request is that you not ask us to make 3 pounds of patties. We have a 25-pound minimum, which should be, no problem for the amount of grind that comes with any service order. But that's, as far as we know, this is going to be a unique offering in the local market, which we're happy about. We are not starting with any surcharges for extended hanging or dry aging. Now, I am sure there is a number of days out there that we would not be comfortable with, but to begin, we're going to try and be as flexible as possible. We do believe we have capacity to offer this as a service. We're asking for a reasonable give and take. Let's not send animals in for processing that you haven't found a buyer for yet, or don't know what you're going to do with, and you think you'll figure it out a month later because you've got time to hang. That's not what we're agreeing to, but we do know some local producers are really focused on the value that's added in extended hanging and dry aging. So we want to be in a position to offer that. No surcharge for freezing on cut and packaged orders, of course, and no surcharge for dividing those orders by halves. Moving on to pork and lamb and goat. Similarly, the pork kill fee is a flat $60. If you want us to essentially just kill and break a hog, that would be $95 all in. For pork to be cut and packaged into individually, individual chops, roasts, grinds, and so on, that'll be the same 75 cents per pound hanging weight that you saw on the beef price list. Of course, we will be in a position to offer both sausage patties and links. That'll be $1 a pound surcharge on the finished product. We will be running a commercial smokehouse, so ham and bacon are both in play, which we're very excited about. That'll be a $2.50 per pound surcharge on the starting weight. No surcharges expected currently for a standard selection of seasonings. And of course, you can imagine that would be, breakfast, maybe hot Italian, mild Italian, potentially some common applications like chorizo or other well-known seasoning blends. We'll have a small menu available once the cut sheets are available, and then of course 1 or 2 pound chubs for grinds and bulk sausage, and then finally we will be running a scalder. We will be in a position to scald every hog. Whether you have a need for a pig roast or whether you're hanging hams, that's something we've heard a lot of customers are happy to see and looking forward to. Of course, there is a limit. There's a capacity limit on the scalder. So hogs over 350 pounds, which I hope we don't see a lot of, would be ineligible for that. We would skin those in a different manner. Moving on to lamb and goat, the kill fee is $95. And that would include standard lamb and goat cuts, essentially legs, loins, shoulders, racks, shanks, and trim for grind. I think we're I think we're open to special requests and eager to serve the lamb and goat processing community, producing community. Goats being cubed end to end will also be an option. And again, that's short and sweet. But like I said, we intended to keep this straightforward, easy to understand, and we're going to be available to answer questions all along the way. We're ready for them. Let's keep going. So now is where we get into what we would describe as, premium services. Like I said, we've made investments in packaging and labeling equipment that we're really excited about, and a few options that we consider really best in class, not even just in the local market area, but in the small plant packaging world nationwide. So first and foremost, custom full color labels with your logo. If you come to us with a design, we'll be able to produce it for you. Of course, we have a food safety and HACCP leadership team here that have experience approving retail labels, and will be in a position to offer guidance and set expectations. But we're going to be able to make the product really pop if you're interested in selling, if you have a good retail partner, or if you sell on the weekends at the farmer's market. This is product that's just really going to stand out, not just in your own selling capacity, but in your customers' cooler and freezer. And I think we have a few examples that we will show you, but this is an optional premium service that you'll come to understand better over the coming weeks and months. And I think we can really add a lot of value to high quality, locally raised product. The next bullet point is described as premium packaging. And I guess I'll do my best to muddle through this, and Annie, please correct me or support me if you can. I think our description of this additional charge is really meant to focus on if you, as the producer, want us to individually label the product, not just by the cut and the weight, but with an extended sales price. If you want us to be able to label your product with your selling price, we will be in a position to do that and then vacuum packaging for grinds and sausages. We'll show you, I think we have a picture to follow this slide that will demonstrate the two varying options that I think are really high quality and will probably be appealing to a lot of customers. And those charges would apply only to the weight of the product that is packaged in such a fashion. So don't be confused by those. Premium spice selections, if there's a specific blend from a specific source that you want us to use, we're open to that. We will be unreasonable about what the upcharge is, but we have to protect our right to maybe charge a little bit more for documentation. All right, so this screen is meant to depict a couple of different packaging examples, specifically for ground product. I'm actually going to start in the lower right-hand corner. And this is what's, very common to a small plant and very common to, I would say, even a deer processing facility. These pre-labeled bags, in some cases, with a custom logo for the farmer producer. This is a perfectly nice and perfectly safe way to package product. It's just not going to be part of our offering, right? So our offering is going to start with an exact weighted 1 or 2 pound chub, as you see on the left. It will not be a pre-printed sleeve like you see here, but it will be a really nice, high quality, durable chub on which we can apply one of the full color labels that we talked about. So that's a minimum expectation for us, which I think is a nice step forward. And then the really premium option for any ground product, whether it's a ground pork, lamb, or sausage blend, would be in what we would describe as like a 1-pound brick run through a continuous roll stock machine. So we're looking at a 2-dimensional photo or a 1-dimensional photo, but if you can imagine a flat back with a black package in the front really allows you to see the particle definition of the product, the quality of the grind, and it provides a nice flat surface for that full color label. This is packaging that we see from our partners in the food service industry that are essentially committed to the most premium branding and packaging available. So we're excited to be able to extend a presentation like that to local service customers. And I think depending on how you sell your product, it's really gonna help it pop and impress your customers, current and future customers. So we have covered, we are not sharing today the standard cut sheets, but this will be available in the week to come. Stay tuned for all the ways that you've already. We're really excited to offer, baseline packaging that includes full traceability of the product. If your customer test freezer for 6 months, but the product will never lose that mark of inspection and origin, and the food safety records that we keep here at Buzz. And then premium labeling, which we will be sharing more examples of in the coming weeks, are really, I think, going to professionalize the offering and raise the quality of the packaging to meet the quality of the product that so many of you are producing, and raise the esteem of the product in the eyes of your existing and future customers.
All right. Oops. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead now and talk a little bit again about our booking schedule. So I think I'll start before I go through the what, how, and when. Again, just reiterating, it is still an active construction site. And so in our decision about when we're going to start opening up our processing services, we want to be conservative. We'd rather be able to call people back and say, hey, if you want to, we can take you earlier, than have to call back and say, the steel didn't come in and sorry. So I just want to prep you with that because I think it's probably later than some folks were hoping. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to start booking for multi-species appointments. So we can take any species that was on that list. We're not doing any of the exotics or bison or anything. Early on, we will have separate days of the week for hogs and beef as we kind of get up and running. So just note that if you have both, we will have to schedule you for separate days eventually for those. There is going to be limited capacity. Again, we're going to start with a small number booked. Hopefully we can move people up as we get more and more confident of our actual opening day. How? So the way we're going to do it, again, we've had a lot of people ask us this question, probably the biggest question I get asked actually. What we're going to do actually is we're going to start before we have an active office phone in the building that's still being constructed. We're actually going to start with this appointment request form. So this is actually, it's an online Google form where you fill out what you would like to schedule, your preferred weeks, and a good time for me to give you a call back to actually schedule it in for a week. We'll get back to you. Again, we aren't going to give you your exact day quite yet. We'll confirm that as we get closer to the building being completed. But we want to make sure that we get you in on the schedule for this week so we know what to plan on, so you can have something to plan on as well. Again, if you submit a schedule request, you do not have a confirmed appointment until you talk to me or one of our other staff members about that date. But because you all are on this webinar or receive this information in our newsletter, you've probably already reached out to us about this, and we wanted to make sure to send it out to you all first. This request form will be live on the website starting the day after Memorial Day. But again, this is kind of the first preview. So if you want to get your requests in, please feel free to go ahead and start doing so. Again, we'll answer these. The form does timestamp, so we can fill in as needed. I will say I don't actually have it on here, but this will also be on the website. We do have a phone number that is going to be at the new facility that will ring actually to my phone. So if you're having trouble with the web form for some reason, please feel free to call that number. I'll send it out in the newsletter that we send out after this webinar, and I can help you get your request in at that point as well. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, again, we'll just be calling back as the building gets close to completion to confirm the exact day of the week that we'll be slaughtering whatever species you have scheduled. And we're pretty excited about that portion. And yeah, I think those are the big schedule updates. So without any further ado, I guess I'll take it to questions. Again, here's the links. I'll send them out to the same newsletter where you got the Zoom link. You can download just the price sheet if you want to look at that. A link to the appointment request form. Those will be in your email, and they will both be up on the website after Memorial Day, and you can find them there as well and share with neighbors and friends and the like. All right, so I'm going to change this so you can unmute yourselves if you do have a question. And if you have any questions, let us know. Want a clarification on anything at this point? Now's your chance.
Annie, while we wait for a couple of potential questions, thanks for that update, pulling together the slide deck. I do want to speak to the folks that are most interested in the potential wholesale model that we're developing. And while we're not making announcements or schedule today, I will say that we are having conversations with local producers virtually every day, and we're getting a good read on who's producing and finishing cattle locally, who's in the hog business, who's producing lamb, and it's not too soon for us to have those conversations or be aware of your interests if you have it. So I would say that it is well within you're very welcome to contact us directly. All of the contact information that has been shared in this slide deck already. We're having those conversations each day. As far as COVID activity goes, everyone on this core team is fully vaccinated and has been for some time. So we have begun to receive guests in the office. If you'd like to come for a discussion and even possibly a tour, those are both possibilities. I would say if you're not vaccinated, we would expect you to be upfront about that and to wear a mask while you're here and make us aware. But we are actively discussing the wholesale model, how it might work, and we're eager to hear about your interest if you have it. So.
All right, so one question, we just didn't mention it specifically, was can we do smoked sausages? Yes, we have, I think, a smoking fee that just lists specifically bacons and hams, but we can also do, we'll definitely be able to do smoked sausages as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have questions? Okay, here's another one. So can we book out for next year or later on this year? Absolutely. We're not just booking for October. That's our start date for opening the book. So if you're looking for November, December, January, and further dates, please, you can go ahead and get those in as well. We'll be collecting those out, as far as you need them at this point. Again, you should be able to unmute yourself, and if you can't, please feel free to type a question in the chat box if you have not already. Let's see. Okay, this is a good question. We'll be sharing grading results with producers at the time of pickup. Yeah, we'll either be doing it when you come to pick up your animal directly, or it might be the kind of thing that the software that we're looking at will be able to print off some yield data reports and things like that too. So we can either, we haven't finalized exactly what software solution we're going to work with yet, but all of the ones that we're working with have this capacity. Some of them have a much larger file that might be more easily shared via email and a spreadsheet. And some of them have ones that can be condensed into a smaller page that we could probably print and hand off. So we won't be able to tell you that exactly until we select our software solution, but we will share that information with you at the time of pickup or shortly after.
Good question.
All right, so another question, will producers need to fill out a request for each individual animal, or we have cut sheets on file and pull them for existing clients? So obviously initially we'll need to, go through the cut sheet with everyone and make sure you understand how we have everything set up. But we are intending to keep track of people's previous cut sheets. If you just want the same thing again, we'll be able to do that as well.
Good question.
Let's see. Let's see, here's another grading question, also relevant. It's, can I get my grading before it's processed into steaks so I can charge a customer accordingly? My guess is probably not. The way that the grading is going to be scheduled in the facility is it'll be, like the once a week walkthrough when things are ready to be processed. A grader will come in because they aren't actually at the facility every day. So that would be something that you would want to, if you were going to charge your producers based on the grade of your meat, you would have to figure out with them probably after pickup. Again, once we get running, we'll see, maybe that's a easier thing to do than it sounds like right now, but right now I'd say probably not, and we'll learn as we go and see if it's possible, if that's something that is critical to your operation. All right, any other thoughts or questions before we wrap up here? Oh, this is a good one. Expectations for dropping off animals. So we are, again, we'll have all of these things finalized. We will have information that we send to all the producers with our expectations, the way unloading is going to go, what information we need from you, and all that kind of stuff as we get closer. But we are planning, we will be, if you're dropping off same day, need to have animals at the facility pretty early in the morning. We will also be offering day before drop off times, specifically for producers that it's easier to bring them in the evening ahead of time as well. So we will have those 2 time slots. What exactly they're going to be, and obviously what days will depend on the days that you're actually scheduled as well. All right, last chance for any other questions at this point. Again, please feel free to reach out to us at any point. Here are all of our email addresses. If you want to get in touch with anyone that's specifically on this call. If not, you can find our information on our website and in emails that get sent out. again, just last chance, time for questions. All right, well, I think that's everything that we have. Dickinson, do you have any final thoughts?
I would always just end by, thanking people for their time and their interest, whether you're watching this live or tuning in for recorded version. We're really excited to serve the local livestock community, and we're excited to show what you have to offer. No one here is being presumptuous in any way. We know that we have to earn your business. And I think our goals are aligned to put the best quality product in the hands of local consumers and keep more money with local agriculture and grow the opportunity for hardworking farmers everywhere. So, thank you in advance for our partnership and flexibility and cooperation. And we're so excited to serve. So um, I have nothing more to add to that. I'll say to everyone, enjoy the holiday weekend, and we look forward to the phone ringing off the hook early next week. Thanks, everybody.